The dog first appeared near the abandoned railway station on a cold morning, when the city was still half asleep and the air smelled of dust and rusted metal. People noticed him from afar before they ever dared to come close. He was thin, his ribs visible beneath dirty, tangled fur, his eyes wide with fear and suspicion. Whenever someone took even a single step toward him, he would retreat instantly, trembling, ready to run as if every human hand carried danger instead of kindness. No one knew where he had come from. Some said he had been abandoned by an owner who moved away. Others whispered that he had escaped from a cruel home where shouting and beating were everyday things. Whatever his past was, it had carved deep scars into his heart. He did not bark at people, nor did he beg for food like other stray dogs. Instead, he watched silently from a distance, always alert, always ready to flee. At first, people tried to help him in simple ways. A shopkeeper left a bowl of water near the station. A street vendor placed leftover bread a few meters away. But the dog never approached while anyone was nearby. He waited until the streets were empty, then slowly stepped forward, sniffing the air cautiously, his body tense like a stretched wire. Even while eating, he kept glancing around, afraid that someone might suddenly appear and hurt him. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The dog remained alone, surviving but never belonging. Children tried to call him with cheerful voices, but he ran away. Adults tried to lure him with food, but he refused to come close. Some people eventually gave up, believing that he was wild and impossible to tame. But one person did not give up. Her name was Maya. She was a young woman who volunteered at a small animal shelter nearby. One evening, as she walked past the station after work, she saw the frightened dog hiding behind an old bench. There was something in his eyes that stopped her in her tracks, not aggression, not anger, but deep sadness. Instead of approaching him, Maya sat down on the pavement several meters away. She did not call him. She did not reach out her hand. She simply sat there quietly, as if she were part of the scenery. After a few minutes, she placed a small piece of food on the ground between them and slowly walked away. The next day, she came again. Same place, same time, same silence. At first, the dog did not understand her behavior. He watched her with suspicion, expecting her to chase him or try to grab him. But Maya never did. She just came, sat quietly, left food, and walked away. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, almost invisibly, something began to change. One evening, when Maya sat down as usual, the dog did not run away immediately. He stayed behind the bench, watching her. His body still trembled, but his eyes were curious. When she left, he approached the food a little faster than before. Another week passed. One day, while Maya was leaving, she heard a faint sound behind her. She turned around and saw the dog standing a little closer than usual. Their eyes met for a brief moment before he stepped back again. Maya smiled, not loudly, not suddenly, but softly, as if she didn't want to scare the moment away. Winter came. The nights grew colder, and the wind became harsher. The dog's fur looked even more worn, and his steps became slower. One evening, Maya brought a small blanket and placed it near the spot where he usually slept. She did not force him to use it. She simply left it there. The next morning, she saw the blanket slightly moved. It was the first sign of trust. From that day on, the dog allowed Maya to come a little closer. Not too close, not enough to touch him, but close enough to share the same space. Sometimes he followed her from a distance when she walked away, as if he wanted to make sure she was real, not a dream that would disappear. Months had passed since the dog first appeared at the station. One quiet afternoon, Maya sat on the ground with her back against the wall. The dog stood nearby, hesitating. For a long moment, he did not move. Then, slowly, step by step, he walked toward her. Maya held her breath. She did not move. She did not reach out her hand. The dog stopped right in front of her. For the first time, he did not run away. His nose touched her fingers lightly, almost accidentally. His body was still tense, but his eyes were no longer filled with terror. They were filled with something new, hope. Maya felt tears in her eyes, but she did not cry loudly. She understood that this moment was fragile, built from months of patience and silence. From that day on, the dog's world began to change. He started waiting for Maya every evening. He allowed her to sit closer. One day, he let her gently touch his head. He flinched at first, but he did not run away. The city around them remained noisy and indifferent, but for the dog and Maya, something extraordinary was happening. A heart that had been closed for months was slowly opening. Eventually, Maya took him to the shelter. At first, he was scared of the new environment, but he trusted her enough to follow. Over time, he learned that not every human hand was dangerous, that not every voice carried threat. The frightened homeless dog who once trusted no one began to wag his tail. And though he never forgot the pain of his past, he discovered something even stronger than fear. The quiet, powerful truth that kindness, when given patiently, can heal even the most broken hearts. In the end, the dog did not just find a home. He found someone who waited long enough for him to believe in love again.